Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. This time, we're going to see if really high velocity actually makes buckshot patterns worse. We've all heard that lead shot at higher velocities doesn't really work out too well, but you never know. We're going to do it using a 10 and a 12 gauge. The loads here are all 2 3/4 inch, even for 10 gauge. The low velocity rounds, we're aiming for around 1,000 FPS, maybe a little bit lower. And with the medium high, we're aiming for about 1,500, 1,600, and then up here we have really high velocity shells, upwards of 2,000 FPS. This should be a fairly interesting one. I'm hoping that the high velocity patterns just as well as the low velocity does. To help us do that, we have a chronograph. I have duplicates of every shell. We're going to run one over a chrono each to see the velocity, and then we're going to pattern them at maybe 25, 30 yards. Undecided. But let's get into it. So we've jumped time a week. We filmed the chrono segment last week, but the camera was out of focus and I just didn't notice it. And also we had a lot of mock failures. So we're going to redo the chrono segment this week, and then we'll jump back in time to last week and pattern these. But we're starting with the 10. It is a 2 3/4 inch Remington hull with a Shadot primer, 20 grains of Winchester AA Super Handicap, BPD 10 wad with 5/8 inch of felt, and this has 1.25 ounces of shot in it. The one we patterned had 10 pellets of double aught, which is also 1.25 ounces. That gun's heavy. All right, let's see how fast this one's running. 1,300. Well, I think that may have been a misreading because the one we shot last week was like 849. So I'll take a second shot. Maybe the first one last week was just a misreading, but who knows? 1257. Okay, they're running about 1257 to 1300. That's okay. That is going to be our lower velocity rounds. The next two are supposed to be right around 1600. This is 38 grains of long shot. Again, Remington 2 3/4 inch hull, Shadot primer, BPD 10 wad with again 5/8 inch of felt. This one has 1 ounce of shot in it. Okay, so let's see how fast this one's running now. 1802. That's a little bit higher than the 1600 I predicted, but 1802, that's pretty dang fast. Now, the last one I have should be, anyway, way over 2,000 feet a second. This is a Shadot 2 3/4 inch hull with a Shadot primer, 55 grains of long shot, the BP 1044 wad with a 1/2 inch of felt, and 1 ounce of shot. This has a roll crimp. I'm glad the chrono's working this time. Let's see if we can break 2,000. Yes! 22-23. That is some serious speed.
And you have a second one.
Yep, but that was a very light load for a 10 gauge, though.
Hold on a sec. Before you put that in there, let's set the chronograph back up.
Yeah, it jumped, didn't it?
Take that shell back out.
Stupid bottom eject shotguns. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Here is the second shot of that. Let's see if we can get close to the same speed. 2140. We broke 2,000 again. I'm quite happy with that. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now we need to find the slug.
Yeah. Let's get a 1 ounce slug moving that fast out of a 10 gauge. I'm all for it.
We got a short barrel. I'm sure we can find a custom rifled choke somewhere.
Briley might make us a rifled 10 gauge choke.
For the turkey barrel, it's a 24-inch interchangeable choke barrel anyways.
We can put it in here too, but still, that gun's the turkey gun he's talking about. It's a whole lot shorter than this thing.
Yeah, it might not work as well then.
I don't know. Well, it might not break 2,000, but still, it'd be a whole lot easier handling package.
It'd be like a smoothbore version of the old Ultra Slug.
Yeah, for real.
Look identical to it.
I am so happy we broke 2,000 FPS with the 10 gauge. That is awesome. And that was a 1 ounce payload too. Let's see what the 835's got. Real quick, I wanted to do a muzzle energy calculation on the one that chronoed 2223. We have 4,795 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. That is right up there with 416 Rigby, which is a dangerous game cartridge. As it stands right now, that is the most powerful shotgun shell of any gauge we have fired.
Hey, there's a tick on the end of this barrel.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. Tick just went inside of the barrel.
Good. Here's the holes that I just fired, the ones that broke 2,000. You can see the primers look excellent. The brass looks excellent. The crimps are a little toasty, but these are the same 2 shells we fired last week. That was complete reloads, both at all 4 of them over 2,000 FPS. So yes. Josh has the 835 now. What's it got?
My first one is 14 grains of red dot, the MG42 with a 1/2 inch of felt and 1 ounce payload. I think this one was supposed to be like a, what was it, 1,000 FPS load or something?
Yeah, right around 1,000, 1,100 in between them. That's what we got last time.
But let's see what we got this time. Are you ready?
I'm ready. 1047.
Yeah. I've got a second one of them, right?
Yep.
That's not it. That's long shot.
That should
14
be it.
red dot, 1 ounce. That'd be it, so we'll verify it.
I know you guys will see this in just a second, but that load right there with the 8 pellets of double aught patterned really well.
Oh, make sure I'm still lined up over that thing. All right, ready?
Yep, I'm ready. 1109.
It's slightly faster.
Yep. So these are very light loads. Just a 1 ounce load, you know, right around 1,100, maybe a little bit over, a little bit less. But with 8 pellets of double aught and that wad, it patterns really well. Yeah. Again, you guys will see that in just a moment.
Alrighty, up next we have 30. Oh, read this one. It has more data on it. 35 long shot, MG42, 1/4 inch of felt, and 1 ounce payload. This one was supposed to be what, 1,200, 1,300, or no, 1,400, I believe.
Right around 14, yeah.
I believe. I'm trying to remember how we said it. It's been a week. For you, it'll be a moment. For us, it's been a week.
These 2 we could not get to chrono last week. That's part of the reason why we're redoing this.
Right, you ready?
Yep. 1711.
Let's take a peek at that one. And here's the second one to verify. Obviously, I didn't see nothing scary there, or else I wouldn't be chambering it.
Right. They're just 1 ounce loads.
This is spicy. Are you ready?
Yep. 1632.
Is already partially back. Alrighty, now you think those ones are spicy. Up next to that we have, that was 35 a long shot. This is
50 Claybuster CB0118-12
with a Claybuster orange wad with a 7/8 ounce payload. Roll crimp bingo chip. These ones, I'm pretty sure we shot a bunch of them, and I guarantee it's going to be at least 1,900. At least.
Yep.
Conservatively.
Last one chronoed 1940.
1967.
We got to reset the chrono. Pause.
Yep. Alrighty, let's see how fast this one's going. Hopefully this red wasp lands right on the end of the muzzle with this black fly. That'd be glorious.
There was a tick on the choke whenever he fired that the first shot.
Let's show you how bad they are here in eastern Kentucky. They're already crawling like crazy. Black flies, waspers. Let's see what this does, though. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready when you are.
Huh. Firing.
1780. That one was probably not lined up with the chrono too well.
No, but that's still really fast.
It's still really fast. Like we said, when we got the chrono last week was 1940.
Yep.
We've chronoed them with the slug. Out of the ultra slug at the highest 2095 FPS.
And out of the ultra slug with a 7/8 ounce Mr. Hollow points, it is a laser beam.
Yeah, they are.
You need 7/8 ounce projectile out of that thing. Out of the ultra slug, that is ridiculously accurate.
Yep. But I'm glad we got the chronos to work this time. We will see you guys last week. We had a subscriber send us the choke in the 835 right now.
Yep.
It is a heavy shot turkey 676 diameter for the 835.
Right. The first one I'm going to be shooting is the first one I shot in the velocity testing anyways. It is 14 of red dot with the MG42, a 1/4 inch felt, and 8 pellets double-aught buck. This one was running 11-12 FPS. So let's see how it does. We're at roughly 20 to 25 yards. And that pattern seems pretty well. Alrighty guys, I had some leftover SpongeBob paper, so we don't have the grid on the back of it. Sorry about that. So I guess we're just comparing looks of patterns today.
I got a tape measure, but
anyways, that was 8 pellets, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All within, not quite my hand, but
I'll get the tape measure and we'll measure it. But that's really dang good.
Yep, it's a good starting point.
Was it?
So that's a good starting point for the day.
Sure is. That's the first time ever using that choke too.
Alrighty guys, it looks like on the horizontal side we have about a 8.5 to 9 inch spread. And on the old verticals we have about a, we'll call it 6 inch, roughly 6 inch spread.
7, just one lower.
Is it? Oh, yeah, my bad.
7. Yeah, 7 inches.
Yeah, alright. So to recap, we have a 9 by 7.
9 by 7.
Y'all see that random piece of paper? That's been hooked to this tape measure for probably 2 years now. And what that random piece of paper is the exact size piece of plywood that took to replace the floor underneath my toilet.
One bad night at Taco Bell.
Yeah, boy.
So, for whatever reason, the mics decided to kick back on here, but the receiver was not picking up any audio, so we ended up with completely silent clips. But that's okay. This one was the 34 of Longshot MG42 wad with 8 pellets of 33 cal with a 1/4 inch 20 gauge felt in the bottom of the MG42 shot cup. Now obviously that one spread out a lot more than the previous one did, which, you know, was to be expected. And we ended up with only 7 of the 8 pellets on paper. Josh did shoot a little bit high, but in his defense, that gun does shoot kind of high and right. And for a spread, we ended up with 24 inches horizontal and 13 inches vertical. Now for only 25 yards, well, that's kind of bad. I'm not sure what made Josh check his mic here, but he did realize it was off, so he turns it back on. Luckily, he realized that.
Sorry guys, my mic turned off. I just had to turn it back on again. Once again, just to recap here, it's 50 a long shot, the Claybuster orange wad, 9 pellets of 30 cal number 1, and BSB buffer. Roll crimp with a nice looking bingo chip, a 676 extra full, whatever this thing is. Thank you whoever sent it, by the way. We appreciate all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
It gets expensive after a while. Yeah, boy.
That paper moved as soon as you pulled the trigger.
Oh yeah, it didn't take no time to get there. Maybe that's what'll make it pattern good.
That's touching rifle speeds, guys.
Out of a big old hole. I don't know. All in all, guys, that is far better than the one at 1400. So
yeah,
it's still ridiculous. But we've got, out of the 9, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She needs a double.
Nope.
No doubles. We got 8 of the 9 on paper. I'd say the one went up through here or over there somewhere. Looking at the way it's strung out.
Pattern's actually pretty dang good for a target style wad.
We got 8 on there. Horizontally, it is, come on now, cooperate. Roughly 18 by, I get it lined out, 18 by 11.
That's not bad.
That's far better than the 24 by 13.
Yeah, I mean, for what that load is, ridiculous velocity, and a non, let's call it hunting style wad, that's acceptable. It's actually pretty good. Well, let's see what the 10 can do now. All right, guys, up with the 10 now. Again, Browning BPS Kicks 695 GT. We have a 2 3/4 inch Remington hull with a Shadot primer, 20 grains of AA Super Handicap. The BPD 10 wad, 4 pedal, 3/4 cut, 1/2 inch of felt, 10 pellets of 33 cal double-aught. And if I remember right, this one was running 898.
Yep.
All right, let's see how it goes. There's no recoil with this at all. All right, I cannot see the holes.
Looks like the wad hit the paper harder than the pellets.
Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we have a really good pattern. You would expect that, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and all 10. Let's see. Straighten out. Vertical, we have a 5.
Horizontal.
Yeah, horizontal. 5 by
10.
no, 5 by 8.5. That's pretty good. 5 by 8.5. Yeah. Although with the 10 gauge, a load like that doesn't really make sense. That's real low velocity and only 10 pellets. I don't know, guys, but it certainly does pattern well. Let's see what the next one does. Okay, guys, I want to start by mentioning sorry about the mic issues. We either got too far away from the receiver at one point or one of us bumped the receiver on my phone, but this one is Remington Hall, again, 2 3/4 inch Shadot primer, 38 of long shot, BPD 10, 4 pedal, 3/4 cut, 1/2 inch of felt, 10 pellets of 33 cal double aught. Let's see how this one does. I imagine him pretty well. I'll aim lower. This gun does hit high. I forget that every time.
There's so many we cycle through.
Yeah. Little stiff, but that hull has been loaded I don't know how many times. If you ever see us shoot 2 3/4 inch 10 gauge, it's probably because the hull has been fired so many times we had to cut it down. But the pattern looks pretty, well, pretty wide.
It's blew out like me after Taco Bell.
I was talking about that gun hits kind of high, so I aimed low and it hit where I was aiming. I don't understand, but there's 7 on paper and there's 1 impact right here. That's 8, and 1 really bad fire up here. There's the 9th pellet. We're missing 1. But, as you can see, the pattern is definitely wider than that last one. Kind of expected that, but stay stiff. Oh my god.
Buddy. Come on now. We're thinking about grandmas, think of pretty girls.
We have 21 by, well, what's on the paper anyway. I ain't going to count that flyer. 13. So 21 by 13, excluding that flyer way up here and the one that hit the board. That's a pretty dang wide pattern, guys. Now, let's see what the last one will do. I'm expecting not great. You never know.
I'm expecting wonderful. Pull the trigger and it's here. It don't got no time to deform.
Right, that last 12 gauge, we expected the worst and got pretty dang good. Who knows? Alright, guys, this one's the last one for the 10. We don't know the velocity, but it should be up there. Again, that's a Shadot 2 3/4 inch hull, Shadot primer, 55 grains of long shot, the BP 1044, 1/8 inch of felt wad, Teflon wrap, and that wrap's just in there to keep the pellets by 2s. And 10 pellets of 30 cal number 1 BSB buffer. Point of impact seems to change. Again, I can't see the pellets. That one ejected real smooth, though.
Looks like another night of Taco Bell.
Is it? I can't tell. Oh well. But the hull does look just fine. Brass is great. Primer is great. Crimp is a little toasty, though. But I can fix that. It'll go again.
It's going to go again.
Oh, yeah. Well, guys, we have all 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The pattern is fairly wide for only 25 yards, but it ain't bad at all. It is nice and uniform. We have a, stand it to me again. Oh, again, 21 like the last one by 21 by 20. That ain't bad at all. Like I said, it's pretty uniform, pretty circular. Although, I wouldn't use it for anything. What about you?
These 2000 FPS loads, they're great for slugs, or some slugs anyways we found, but honestly it's more of a novelty just to watch somebody be amazed by the boom.
Yeah, that one Josh fired, the 2000 FPS one, 1940 actually. Like I said, as soon as he squeezed the trigger, the paper was moving. I don't know if that one was. I didn't really see. Maybe Josh did.
I don't know. Y'all tell me in the video.
Yeah, you'll see in the video when you watch back.
Yep, I was distracted.
but overall, we can clearly see the higher velocity buckshot does actually spread a lot wider than the lower velocity,
Yeah.
which people have been saying that for years. We just wanted to put it to the test, and it's true.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, y'all. Appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate it.
Like, subscribe, check out Patreon, the merch, all that good stuff. Until the next one, y'all have a good one.
Cue outro music.